There's a lot of change going on in the world right now, and the pressure is really on for leaders to adapt and pivot. What makes this especially hard is that if you're one of those leaders, you're expected to keep going even when you don't have all the answers. And at the same time, you're supposed to help everyone else on your team do the same thing. Change on its own is hard enough, but trying to get a whole group of people rowing in the same direction through that change when you don't have a whole lot of time to pivot, that's leadership. Now, if you've been watching these videos for a while, you know everyone needs a little something different in order to show up their best. So the question becomes, how do you get everyone aligned when each person needs something different to succeed? Welcome back. I'm Kelly Stine, Gallup-Certified Strengths Coach and founder of the Lean Light Coach. And today I'm going to walk you through a simple activity that you can do with your team to build alignment, clarity, and collaboration, especially during change. It only takes a few minutes, and it's built right into my free one-page leadership activity sheet called Lead Through Change Without Losing Yourself. It's totally team ready. You can click the link in the video description below and send it to your whole team before your next meeting. Let me show you how to use it. This activity sheet is best done with a little bit of prep work. So step one is to set the context with your team. Before the meeting, email the activity sheet out to your team and say something like, I'd love for each of us to take 5 minutes with this worksheet before we meet. We're all navigating a lot of change, and this will help us come in grounded and ready to work together. If you want to focus the conversation on something specific, so if you really want to make sure everyone's anchored in the specifics of the challenge or the change that you're facing, you can guide them to reflect on that specific change in the email as they fill out the first prompt on the sheet. So the next step is for everyone to fill out the sheet. Each team member answers the situation they're navigating. You might give them some insight into how to fill that out to make sure everyone's on the same page. Their natural response to that kind of change, their edge, so what's helpful about their instinctual response, and the blind spot. So what might they be missing because of their most instinctual response to the change at hand? So that part of the worksheet only takes a couple minutes, but it gives everyone language for how they're about to show up and what kind of support they might need or offer before the meeting even begins. Then step number 3 is to share natural responses in the meeting. So once the meeting starts, begin by asking everyone to stand up and share what their natural response to this kind of change is. So you might hear things like, I tend to push forward and I want to take action right away. Or I need to stop and step back and think a little bit before I'm ready to do anything. Or I'm the first one to check in on how everyone's doing, or I need to know how everyone's doing before I know what to do next. Just naming those patterns creates instant understanding among the team members, and it helps you understand how your team is operating during this change and why they might be operating that way. People begin to realize, oh, you're not resisting change or being reactive, you're just wired a little bit differently than I am. That alone can reduce a lot of the friction that tends to happen during times of change and also boost compassion and engagement across the team. Step number 4, talk about blind spots. This can be deployed a couple different ways. One way is to pair people off to share their blind spots and just randomly assign. The second way is to have each person, after they name their natural response, go back around and share their blind spot. And then after sharing blind spots, people can partner up in ways that help complement natural responses and blind spots. So for example, maybe the person who acts fast partners with the person who thinks before acting, or someone who focuses on people partners with someone who naturally rallies the team. You can also keep the whole group together, especially if this is a smaller group. So I would say if you've got 10 or fewer people, keep the group together and the discussion as a whole group discussion. If you have more than 10 people, have people partner off to discuss things like how can you support each other and navigate this kind of change given your strengths and blind spots, and how can you lend your strengths to this person or to the entire team to create a better outcome together. This is where the magic really happens at step 4, because during change, people tend to silo off. And this activity, and specifically this part of the activity, reminds them, you have strengths around you. You have help around you, and it's okay to lean into them. And then step number 5 is to end with action. So after the discussion, if it's in partners, bring the whole group together. If it's been a whole group the whole time, they're already there. Then ask everyone to return to the final prompt at the bottom of the activity sheet, which is, what is one aligned action I'll take today? This is where self-awareness becomes a real strategy. So you can encourage everyone to choose something small, meaningful, and doable, and something that reflects what they've discovered about the change itself, as well as the strengths that are within themselves and their team members around them. A few examples could be, I'm going to check in with my strategic thinking teammate before jumping into execution. It could be, I'll share a quick summary to help rally clarity and next steps. It could also be, I'll ask for input on something I've been trying to figure out all by myself. So these kind of steps helps your team walk away with clarity and ownership and forward momentum and something to do, some action that they can take, something they feel responsible for as the whole team is navigating this change together. The payoff from an activity like this is stronger trust, smarter collaboration, and much clearer action. After even one round of this activity, your team is going to walk away with a better understanding of each other's instincts, a greater appreciation for what everybody brings to the table, and a more aligned, human centered way to navigate the change together as a team, as a unit. And you get to lead a team that's not just reacting and running in different directions, but growing stronger together. So if you're looking for a simple way to help your team show up with more clarity and confidence, especially during change or challenge, now's the time to download the free sheet using the link in the video description below. Share it with your team or pass it along to a fellow leader who could use a tool like this, maybe even send them the video too, and then give it a try at your next meeting and see what opens up. If this was helpful, hit like and subscribe for more strength-based leadership tools and advice. And remember, you don't need the perfect moment to build trust or alignment. You just need 5 minutes and a willingness to lead with intention. See you next time.